Welcome to Money Talk with Michael. I'm Michael Eastham, president of Fellowship Financial Group. Money Talk with Michael is our weekly broadcast where we answer your questions about finance, investment, retirement, and all things related to money. Remember to send in your questions to the email listed in the description box below, and you might hear your question answered on the next Money Talk with Michael.
My wife and I were originally planning to retire next year, but in April, we both lost our jobs due to the coronavirus and decided to retire instead. Our unemployment has stopped, and we are now digging into savings. We'll both be 67 in January, and our combined Social Security will be about $48,000 a year. We need another $12,000 a year income to do everything we want to do, at least for now. Our combined retirement and savings is about $350,000 and has performed pretty well in the funds that we have them in. Are we going to be okay, or do we need to make some changes?
I totally understand. The coronavirus has certainly had an impact on a lot of people's retirement plan, and yours is very similar. You know, you're out of work, you're a little bit more comfortable at home, and you're thinking, wow, I kind of like this situation. Instead of retiring in a year or 2 years, what if we could retire right now? So you've got to look at your situation a little bit carefully, because you've got $48,000 in Social Security, but you've got a gap. You got a $12,000 gap to get you to that $60,000 that you need. And your savings of $350,000, I know they've performed pretty well in the mutual funds, but now you have to think about that $350,000 for generating income for you and for the next 20 to 30 years. Again, I always tell people it's better to plan for a 30-year retirement and only live 20 than to plan for 20 years and live 30. That could be a disaster. So it would probably be in your interest to pursue taking that $350,000, rolling it into an IRA, and determining an allocation that'll generate, maybe 4%, $12,000 or so. That could certainly fill the gap in retirement. What it would also do is, in most cases, you'd be able to preserve a good portion, if not all, of your principal, that $300,000 or so, and that way you could leverage it for down the road. The other $50,000, you could certainly invest for longer term growth, maybe take a little bit more risk with it, again, depending on your individual situation, and kind of set that aside. But the $300,000, perhaps looking at generating income through an allocated, diversified, actively managed portfolio, generating interest and dividends and also predictable income. But there's one other thing that I want you to really think hard about, and that is long-term care. So if we dig a little deeper here, realize this: 70% of people who are 65 and up are going to have some sort of a long-term care event over their lifetime. Now, in a situation like this, that could blow your retirement plans out of the water. So you want to make sure that you consider the need and your preparation for long-term care at some point down the road. Another reason why you may want to try to preserve as much of your portfolio as possible, generating interest and dividends, and only taking the money off of the interest and dividends for at least a larger portion, and then see how that works, because it certainly could give you the flexibility down the road to tap into more principal if it's needed, or maybe take some of that money and leverage it by using a small long-term care policy that could provide you a little bit more care than what you would be able to do with just your assets alone. So I hope that helps. Again, every situation's a little different. I'd urge you to give us a call so we can help you to make an informed decision about your allocation. But in any event, thanks so much for that call, and thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in next Monday for another edition of Money Talk with Michael. And don't forget to send in your questions and check out our website at fellowshipfinancial.com and our social media platforms. And if you'd like, you can schedule a 15-minute complimentary call to get your specific questions answered. Everything you need is listed in the description box below.